Right. Good morning, Adam. How you doing?
Hi, Rich. Right, Paul. Well,
Yeah, good,
doing
thanks.
well.
Thanks for coming on to our new video series, the VT series. Um, so, Adam, as I touched upon before the recording, I just want to find out a little bit more about yourself, your role in the fitness industry, your background, and how things have kind of changed for you during the lockdown, and just kind of talk about a few specific things like marketing and sales, and obviously your role with mentoring PT through the ProFit system. But first of all, mate, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, your background, and how you got into becoming a PT?
Well, it's quite a long story, mate. I've been a PT now for 8, maybe 9 years now. So obviously I met yourself through playing rugby league. So obviously all I ever wanted to do as a kid is play rugby. So obviously I got into playing rugby and stuff, and then I found like when I was like 13, 14 years old, like, you look at these Super League players and these massive human beings and bulging biceps and stuff. So you hit the gym, don't you? And so obviously I used to go gym at the end of school. And then obviously I was lucky enough to kind of join Warrington Wolves on like the scholarship. So I was like dead fortunate to have really good strength and conditioning coaches. So like I kind of got taught at like 14 years old, like a bit like probably yourself, like how to lift weights properly, like using broomsticks and stuff like that. And how you remember all that stuff, like doing squats and all that stuff.
Still can't do it.
Yeah, it was like, as tedious as it was, it set the foundation of how to lift weights, didn't it, before you got strong. So I always, obviously, loved playing rugby, but I was like so into like training. So I think even then I was like always thinking, I'd like to transition into training. So obviously, I did okay playing rugby, you know what I mean? I played a bit of Super League and things like that. So I did all right. We all want these amazing Great Britain careers, but I did okay. So obviously, so I got through it, and I did my PT course when I was still at Salford. So there was like a group of us who did that. I just thought, that's what I'm going to do with like my afternoon. So it didn't take that long. So I did the PT course with a big group of rugby lads, and I was lucky I did it, because I think it was only a year later, I got the dreaded "you're not needed anymore" at Salford. So I was into the real world then. So I literally remember I was like, I think I had an injury at the time. I had like the bulging disc in the back and stuff, and I was kind of training and playing with it every now and then. But I was kind of a bit, I was a bit down in the dumps, mate. I was a bit shitty. So when I kind of got told, you're no longer needed, I was like, right, what do I do? So I kind of, when I got my head around it, I just Googled personal trainer jobs, and there's loads come up, like as people do. There's David Lloyd, there's all sorts. And I remember the one come up for ProFit, and obviously I'm still there now. And I thought it sounded really good, and I was like, I don't know if I'm good enough for this, but I'll have a go anyway. So I applied, and within an hour I got like an email saying, obviously, would you like to come for an interview? And the interview come, and I had to meet, I think it was Graham, who's obviously Graham and Steve, who founded ProFit. I met Graham first, and off I went from there. I got through the 3 interviews, which was in like Wilmslow, which was like this huge gym in Total Fitness. If anyone's ever been to it, like it's enormous, very daunting when you walk in, but like amazing gym. So obviously I started with ProFit, then that was 2013, I think, so about 23. So that's how I kind of got into it. Then I did my training week with ProFit, which is like an added training, and then I was assigned to Total Fitness in Walkden and Bolton, and then off I went with my personal training. It was just, I got my head down and did my best.
Yeah, love it. So just on that, Ad, I know, as you said about being a rugby player, you're always in the gym, aren't we, from an early age. A lot of people probably think, oh, rugby player, you'll be a great PT. Did you think that yourself too? I've got bigger arms, I'll be a good PT. You probably find it yourself now. Would you say that there is an advantage of, if you're good at sport, you're a good PT, or it totally doesn't really make any difference to it?
I think it might be a disadvantage, like genuinely, like I'll do this a bit of a joke. So my my girlfriend Emma, obviously, engaged, fiance. I remember she saying something. I met her in the gym, believe it or not, And she was like, I don't want to train with him. He's just this big dude. So like, you come across unrelatable sometimes. If you're this big rugby lad, and you know, the target audience for personal training is usually like, you know, 40-year-old women. I don't want to be. That's usually like the market, like for personal training. So if you're a big, bulging, muscular dude in the gym who can't talk to you know, a woman on the treadmill, is probably not going to help you that much. You know, the guy who's like 30, who's lifting weights, might respect your bench press, but you know, Doris, who actually needs the help, probably don't like you that much. So it's a bit of a disadvantage. It's good that you've been trained, but it's probably not necessarily good and relatable for people. You know what I mean? If there's a girl there who's probably a bit nicer than you, she might do better.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. So you've kind of gone onto it there, naturally talking about your client base. As you said, you're still at ProFit now, aren't you? I know you split your time between PT and mentoring other, you know, new PTs.
Yeah.
Well, can you just tell us a little bit more about that, and also the types of clients you have at the moment and who you traditionally work with?
I think when it started, I think I was pretty much just normal general population, fat loss. You know, people who probably did Weight Watchers, Slimming World, who were frustrated and were walking on treadmills. I remember I used to just go treadmill to treadmill and just talk to everybody. And, you know, I think I had a full client list of females when I first started. It took me a while to get the guys training, I think, because most guys are like, yeah, I'm all right, mate. You know, I know what I'm doing. Whereas women are a bit more, oh, I need some help. So I think I started with like general population, like, which is really cool. And then I think as I transitioned through, I got a bit more, like now I work with a bit more like kind of small business owners and people who train on the weekends. So I get a lot of referrals from guys who play football and rugby on the weekend, and they go, oh, you know, I've done some good stuff with Adam, I need some help, I've had a previous injury and I need to get back on the field, or, you know, just normal weekend warrior guys, which is, so I have a bit of a kind of 50-50 split now, but again, I started just with normal general population, so, you know, get training, look after them that way. Yeah.
What would you say is the easiest type of client to access? You know, if you just qualify as a PT, what sort of client do you think is the ideal fit for a newly qualified PT?
Question, actually. Hey, I reckon if we all knew that, we'd just go for him, wouldn't we? That guy. I think you've got to get somebody who's frustrated, and most people in the gym are frustrated. So, you know, you walk into a gym, we all see it, and you look around, there's more people walking on treadmills and training correctly. So you kind of have to build a relationship with that person and find out. So if someone's stuck or feels frustrated and they want help, then they're the person you're going after. You know, probably going to the guy who's doing CrossFit down the end who knows what he's on about is probably not going to be what you need at the moment as a new PT. You know, as you kind of progress your way through and you become an expert in a certain area, that might be a market. But as a new personal trainer, I think it's just go in and help the people who need the help most. And fortunately, you know, obesity is rising in the UK, and new trainers can be a part of helping that. So I think the people, you know, I'm not going to say go to a treadmill if someone's overweight, but you got to be careful with that. But if someone's frustrated, needs help, doesn't really know, you can see they don't really know what they're doing, then provide help. That's the best way I would say it.
I think that kind of goes into one of the points I wanted to talk to you about, really. And that is, you know, selling and marketing a commercial gym. You know, I know you won't mind me saying you probably don't have the biggest online presence. You know, a lot of PTs at the moment are doing lots of videos. Before lockdown, you know, regardless of the lockdown, they're doing videos, you know, trying to create content and engage with people. Nevertheless, you're always busy. You know, you've got quite a high hourly, you know, fixed rate price. You know, what sort of differences do you think there are in terms of selling and marketing in a commercial gym when there's, you know, big membership numbers?
When I started, I think, you know, I think on the average, don't quote me on this, but I think on the average big gym has like 3,000 members in it. And then people are already walking in the gym. So they already want help. They don't want to change the body. So, or whatever it is they've gone there for. So they're already in the gym. so you don't have to market outside of the gym. So literally all I did was, I was just naive enough to go treadmill to treadmill and just build relationships with people. Like I think Graham and Steve, who and my mentor at the time, was just like, don't sell anything yet. Go in the gym and just speak to everyone. Like I think I've mentioned this before, like secrets of a personal trainer was I had a little black book with people's names, family members, and it sounds a bit shifty, but like people got to know, like, and trust you to buy from you. So I just did that to learn about people. So say like Greg comes in at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and he's just got a dog, and I've just had that conversation with him. Next time I speak to Greg, I'm going to be saying, how'd you get on with your dog, mate? Like, how's the dog walking going on? And you become this person who's in the gym, and then when it becomes to he needs help, he's probably going to ask me because he's got a bit of trust and he's got a bit of likability. And I feel like the industry at the moment, new trainers skip that, because I think the dawn of the new era of like technology, we communicate through our phones, and some of our client base who are a little bit older they want human interaction. If you're good at human interaction, they'll buy from you. And obviously in terms of marketing, once you get your first client, you have to just do an amazing job. Like the members in the gym have to look at that person and go, wow, they're doing good. Like, he must be a good trainer. And I think I remember, I knew when I really kind of cracked it. I remember I was like mid-session, and a woman who always does like body pump just come over and was like, oh, Adam, can I have a quick chat with you? And I was like, yeah, of course, yeah, I'm in a session, but I'll grab you. And she just said, oh, I know I've been seeing you around the gym. Would be interested to do some personal training. And I think at that point I was like, I'm doing it right here, because I'm just getting my head down training people and speaking to people. So like you said, I didn't really post anything on Instagram, and I think Twitter was the biggest thing at the time then. So I think it's just, you've got to speak to people, build relationships, because they're already coming to the gym, they're already there, so you might as well speak to them.
So just on that, I don't know, you were saying when you realise you kind of cracked it in terms of people coming up to you. How long did it take in that process of you going naively, speaking to everyone, asking about the dog, how was the coffee this morning, ground or filtered? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that type of
stuff. How long did it take you really find flow and kind of know where you fit in terms of the gym and in terms of speaking to people, etc., clients?
I think I was kind of slow, I remember, when I started ProFit, there was about 10 or 12 of us who kind of started at the same time across different total fitness gyms. And I remember like I was getting a bit frustrated, because I think for me to get like a solid client base, it took me about 6, 7, 8 months. And it was hard because, you have bills and stuff, and you're like, oh, and I think that I was guilty of. I didn't ask the question more of, do you need help? So I reckon it was 6 months of solid graft, really. I'm not going to like blame the gym or anything, but I think at the time the gym I was in was people weren't used to having a personal trainer, and I was charging £35 for the hour at the time, and that was just so foreign to people. Mm-hmm. But they didn't understand what I was selling. So I had to get people to understand that, which, like I say, I was naive enough and young enough to just keep going. I just cracked on. But it did take. So I will reckon. Now I know the trainers at ProFit now, they can get full within 3 months, and that's because they put a lot of hours and they've got a lot of strategy to what we do now. Mm-hmm. But I reckon 6 months of solid work is probably enough to get a client base if you're actually doing the work.
Yeah. Okay. So that, again, that kind of ties into one of the big things I want to speak to you today about was your role at ProFit. As you've been there a few years, you've kind of took on this role for newly qualified PTs. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that role and kind of, what that involves?
So, yeah, when you start ProFit anyway, you all get assigned a mentor, which is like, it's probably the best thing you could probably have, because I remember I've had 3 different mentors just through natural progression. Some leave, some move on to different things. So I think when I first started, I was like, I'd like to be a mentor. Like, I love this idea of helping other trainers. So, Profit has its own internal level system. So, level 4, 5, and 6. It used to be a 1, 2, and a 3. And I just progressed through, and I just naturally kind of became a mentor because as I got better in the gym, we started building a team in there. So, like, I just saw, I think coming from rugby, I wanted this team environment. So, like, when your teammates are not doing so well, you just naturally help them out, don't you? Like, how are you getting on, mate? Do you need any help? So I just naturally become, like, a bit of a leader without kind of wanting to be, do you know what I mean? So I kind of worked my way through the levels anyway, because I've just got that mindset of, well, if that's, if there's a level 22, I wanted to be a level 22, do you know what I mean? It wasn't necessarily, I just wanted to do that. So I kind of ticked all the boxes to become a mentor. So we have an internal mentoring training, which is you basically learn coaching, how to kind of help trainers. There's a lot of admin to it as well. So I did all the training in house. Paul Campy, who's the head of mentoring at Profit, who's like, again, hasn't got a big social media presence, but he's probably one-on-one impacted more people than anybody in the industry, to be honest with you. And he's huge at what he does. And he kind of invented the mentoring structure at Profit, and he was my mentor now, and he kind of helped me through it. So, I mean, day to day as a mentor now, basically you come on and you need help with more than just, you need to know how to run a business. You need to manage your emotions. I mean, when I started mentoring, the head of mentoring and kind of coaching at Profit is a guy called Paul Campy, who I think have said is, I think one-on-one has probably impacted more trainers than anybody in the industry. I mean, people do it on a mass group thing, but there's a lot of trainers in the industry now who's had some impact from Paul Campy. So he's the head of mentor and he's personally my mentor now as well. So he helped me become a mentor and how to coach people. So, like, you wanted to know a bit more about day-to-day of mentoring, didn't you, how it works? So
yeah.
It's when you come to Profit, you'll see a mentor every week, and as you progress through to different levels, you'll see him every other week and then once a month. And obviously there's a charge, there's a price point for that, and you pay for it, but it's all involved. And so basically from day one, it's about, you're self-employed. So how do you set up yourself as a self-employed sole trader, personal trainer? You got to help people with that. You got to help people with, like, just emotions, because it's the roller coaster. One day you might sign up 2 people, you might not sign people for 3 months. So you got to help people with emotions, finances. There's a lot to do. The A, B's, and C's of a personal training session exercise is so small compared to what you need to get set up. Like, the biggest thing trainers do when they start, which is funny, we all laugh about it now, and I did it, was you do your first year, you put all the money in your account, and you think you're like, going to buy a Ferrari or something, and your HMRC bill comes through, and you're like, oh, I've spent it. So, we've got stuff in place where you got to go, you need an account for your taxes, you need all this stuff. So a lot of it is like, it's running of a business. You got to learn how to do that and how to run it as a business. Because, like you say, a lot of trainers are young, they don't necessarily know how to do that. So that's a big one. I'm like, sorry, mate, go on.
Just on that, to jump in, have you found like a bit of a difference between those who are coming into the industry in the last 2, 3, 4 years compared to maybe when you started? Is there a bit of a difference, do you think, or in terms of ages or the way they're approaching things?
I think I was saying to somebody the other day, and I can't quite remember who I was saying it to, but if I look at it now, I think the actual standard of personal trainers now coming through are actually better than when I started. And I think it's good to see that, because I mean, even now, I think the personal training industry is bad, or on a whole. What's being delivered is bad, but there's still a lot of better personal trainers than there was 8 years ago. I mean, like, I've had a joke with you in the past. I mean, without saying it was, I remember there's a personal trainer who was in the gym where I was, who was charging £25 an hour, who would eat his tea and toast while his client was walking on the treadmill at 8 a.m. in the morning. So that's what you were battling against. Now that's less and less apparent because they've just been filtered out. I mean, I mentor a lad, Josh, who is at university now, and he has no other idea. He just wants to be a personal trainer, and he wants to be a very, very good, educated personal trainer. And I got off a call with him this week, and he's doing his dissertation on how personal trainers can impact people's lives. And he doesn't want to go up to be a strength conditioning coach. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. He wants to be a personal trainer. So it shows like the younger people are really looking at the industry now as something where they can, one, make good money, and two, impact many people. It's like respected. So I think it's a lot, touch wood, it's the people coming into the industry are a lot better.
In terms of you mentoring the PTs at Profit, obviously, you can't get away from it. The lockdown, gyms across the country are shut at the moment. How has that affected, firstly, yourself, but then on the flip side, you mentoring the PTs at Profit? How have they found the lockdown?
Well, yeah, it was a big shock, wasn't it? But I think we all kind of knew it was coming. I remember myself in the gym, like the members were dropping. I was cleaning equipment down every day. I was assuring clients everything's going to be clean, and then it just kind of hit us, didn't it? So yeah. I think the message was, you have to get online now. Mm-hmm. And I think before I say my mentees, I had to sort what I had to do first, because I've also got clients, and I couldn't advise mentees if I didn't sort it myself. So it's that fear of I'm now an online coach. It's like, I have to go do it. So, I mean, we were lucky. There was a lot of PT groups on Facebook with, some like really big, big names, like say Paul Moore, James Smith, Ben Coomber had all these groups who were like, just put a load of PTs in. There's some good advice. And obviously at Profit, we have our own internal group, and we all kind of brainstormed. So I just said, right, I already used an app called True Coach anyway with some clients, so which is like a godsend. It's like so easy to use, but really, really good. I mean, it costs, but it's good. So I literally drafted up an email and text to my client saying, this is what I'm going to be charging now over the next few months. Obviously, I want to put your health first. Here's what I'm going to do. And I think one of the things, if you're a trainer at the moment, is you're selling to your client against something they've not bought into before, but they still buy into you as a trainer. So they've got to trust you that you're going to do the right thing. So I set myself up, and, I set a structure of how I was going to do things. It's like, some people need Zoom sessions, some people don't. Some people can crack on, but regardless, I'm going to be providing support. And then we just filtered that down to the trainers, and everybody's in a different scenario. Like I think I said before we jumped on the call, I wouldn't have liked this happen to me when I was 6 months into my personal training career, because it takes a long time to build a relationship and trust with a client. So to say to your client, I'm going to charge you 300 quid a month, and it's all going online. And your client's going to be like, what? And so they've got to trust you. So in terms of mentees now, I mean, I do what we're doing now. I check in once, twice, sometimes 3 times a week if they need it at the moment, because we just need to keep together and support. So one of the biggest things, like I think we said again on the call, like you're just going through this roller coaster of emotions at the moment, aren't you? You're like, some days you're flying, some days you get out of bed and you're like, oh God, it's never ending. So we feel that. So we're going through that with mentees as well, plus you might get some mentees have gone through they've gone from a full client list of 20 people to they've now only got 10. And there's a lot of people in threat in the brain at the moment, so they don't react like a human being. They act, sometimes they don't act like they probably want to. So it's getting them to calm down, and even yourself, calm down and plan accordingly, and then deliver. You got to deliver it with confidence. If you're training a client at the moment, here's what you're going to do and here's deliver. So luckily, it's 2 months in now. I think across the board, we're doing really well. I mean, I have 13 mentees, and they're all doing good. Some are doing great, and some are doing good. I think when I started, the fear was we're going to lose people out of the industry, and I'm happy at the moment we've kept a lot of people going. So it's all going well.
Yeah, I think that's, again, I wanted to really ask you about that. What are your thoughts on, a lot of talk about when gyms come back, it may be reduced capacity. You know, they may not be able to have as many people, you know, at one point in the gym, you know, reduced equipment in terms of less bikes, rowers, etc. How do you think that's going to impact you guys at ProFit and, you know, personal training, you know, across the country? I know ProFit is predominantly in commercial gyms, isn't it? So what are your thoughts on that?
I think, unfortunately, I think commercial gyms are going to be the ones hit the most, if I'm honest. I think if you have a small boutique one-on-one place at the moment, you put yourself in position of a client, you're going to feel more comfortable going into one of those than a massive 10,000 square foot gym at the moment. So I think, you know, we have to work, I mean, personally, we're going to have to work closely with the gyms we work in and see what management are going to do. I had a brief chat with one of the managers the other week, and I just asked him that, you know, if there's social distancing rules within the gym, how much square foot have you got? How many members can you have in that gym? And that includes staff and trainers. So in the gym I'm in, there's 5 of us as personal trainers, so we take up space. So we're going to have to be, you know, on top of it. I mean, you've got to take, for any trainer who's going to go back to training in the gym in a few months, which is going to be amazing, is you have to take your client's health first. And that means if you have to put a 15-minute block between your sessions to clean everything down, even though you're in a commercial gym, take it as an opportunity to go clean everything down, make sure your distance is set. And I think one of the other things is you have to get really, really good at coaching now. And I think one of the things what people are getting is on Zoom, you know, when you're training a person in person, it's easier to coach than it is, you know, without being hands-on. You know what I mean? You have to learn better cueing and things like that. So, like you say, we're just going to have to be health first and, you know, profit second. You know, you're going to have to like start slowly building back into it, work closely with commercial gyms, see what their plans are and get things back going. You know, it's unknown at the moment, but we'll see how it goes.
So, I know you said you work in a commercial gym. It's not usually big opportunities to go outside and things like that, you know. It's normally just a big commercial space, isn't it? For yourself, Adam, and I don't know any other trainers at ProFit, but are there any opportunities for you to go and take your clients to, you know, are you thinking about any outdoor training or going to like a local park or, you know, this sort of training? Because I know there will be opportunities maybe to group training, things like that outside. Are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I thought about it. I mean, I was like, if it's not broke, don't fix it at the moment, because it was going well online. And I know there was a statement today where they're saying one-on-one personal training can start up in parks and things like that, which I think is great because your clients are going to need interaction with you a bit more. But there's pitfalls for that as well. Like, are you insured to train people in a park? Are you first aid registered? You know, God forbid something happens to your client in a park. If your client falls over and turns an ankle, can you pick them up? You know, can you carry them back to a car? You need to think about all these things, you know. And are you insured? Are you insured to train someone in the park? Have you done the risk assessment for that park? And is the social distancing in that park available? I mean, I was thinking about it the other day. One of my fears was I'm going to go to a park in a few weeks and there's going to be 25 PTs with 25 clients in a small space, which will be awesome because everyone's getting fit and healthy, but is there enough space? So definitely it's something I would expect with it. Summer's here more or less now, isn't it? So getting outside's got to be the best thing to do, but you also got to take your client against health first. And are they going to be okay in that park training? Are you comfortable that they're not going to get injured? And you know, all these things you got to tick all these boxes before you actually do it. But yeah, going in parks is definitely something we should be looking at doing in the next month or so, I reckon.
And I know it's still Bolton Arena, isn't it, where you're PT?
Yeah.
Is there any opportunities for you to go out onto the track?
Yeah, definitely. There's quite lucky I'm at Bolton Arena, and you know, we have a track. There's lots of space outside, and lucky I'm there. You know, I'm not far from like Rivington, and you know, nice walks up there, and I'm quite lucky to have that area. But definitely, yeah, there's a track. There's a full-size football field out there, and it's getting creative. So yeah, definitely that'll be getting used.
Couple of Mike Eccles' track sessions in there for you.
I was going to drop him in before Mike Eccles, actually, and I'm fortunate enough to have some good S&C coaches, and Mike Eccles was one of them.
Legend. I had a nice one for that. There's plenty of stuff there, plenty of info, some great little golden nuggets. What I want to do is I want to ask all of our guests some, to finish it off, some set questions of those who are looking to enter the industry. I know some probably be thinking it's not the best time to be entering the industry, but from your point of view, I know we've touched upon loads of stuff when you were just qualifying and entering the industry, but what would you say your 3 biggest pieces of advice are for those entering the industry, so wanting to become a personal trainer?
Yeah. Well, I think when this all finishes, I think there's going to be a massive boom of people wanting training, because health has been a priority more than others, which is a good thing. So I think getting into the industry in the next 6 months is going to be, I would advise it to someone who's thinking about being a personal trainer, is go do it, because there's going to be a lot of people who want to improve their health. So I think the 3 pieces of advice would be continue your education. Your level 3 is the kind of foot in the door to learn how to do it, and then you need to continue your education. It doesn't always have to be strength and conditioning. It's about how to, like you say, manage your finances. It's all these things you've got to keep educating yourself. Even now I'm always looking at what's the next thing I can learn. Like sometimes you don't want to do too much learning, but you've got to keep a big block of your time on education and keeping up to date. Number 2, if you're a new trainer, is, I think I said it at the start, is build relationships. Like if you are in a commercial gym, day one, I wouldn't necessarily worry about the members. I would speak to every one of the staff, get to know the cleaner, the manager, the fitness instructors, the lifeguards, and do a day's work as if you're an employee. See how that gym works, because I think Phil Lerney says this, like the gym you work in is like the kind of the present, like the box you're delivering your service in. So if that gym's untidy, it's not going to look good at your thing. So if you're well in with a cleaner, help him out for a day. He might refer you in the future, but build relationships with the staff as well, because you want to go to a place you want to do, and obviously then build relationships with the members. And I think the 3rd thing would be like work hard and smart. Like get your head down and actually do stuff. I mean, again, I was probably guilty of working hard but not smart. I would spend 12, 14-hour days in the gym and not do that much, if you know what I mean. So like when you say build relationships, write down how many people you want to talk to a day and do that every day and be consistent with it. And again, learn your craft, like the 10,000 hours to become an expert at something like real. Like I think I can say now I've delivered just over 10,000 hours of personal training now, and it's I thought I knew what I was doing. It's only in the past few years, like I think I know what I'm doing now with this. Like when a client comes on, I've worked with someone similar before, so experience like trumps everything, doesn't it? So get your head down. I think you said, about the social media presence and stuff. Don't worry about any of that till you get 4 or 5 years under your belt of training people, and then you're really going to know what to post, if you do post something. So get your head down, train people, and learn. Basically the top 3 things I would say.
Right. Love it. And just on that, are there any specific bits of info or learning materials you use, any podcasts or books or anything like you'd like to recommend?
I do loads. I think we've said this before. There's loads of stuff. I mean, if you said top 3 books, I think How to Win Friends and Influence People is a great book for any personal trainer. I personally follow, like the precision nutrition stuff. John Berardi stuff. I've done his course. I've just finished up with Mac Nutrition University. That's if you're in with the nutrition stuff.
Yeah.
Coaching nutrition is going to be a big part of what you're going to do. You don't necessarily need to know how a protein breaks down in the gut. You might need to do in the future, but how to coach someone to stop eating 10 digestive biscuits a day might be something you need to learn. Podcasts, I love the Joe DeFranco Industrial Strength Show. He was like my original, when I started doing podcasts, that was the first one I went to. I have an array of podcasts a week. Lift the Bar podcast is a good one across the board for people. Profit have a podcast with Matt Robinson. It's kind of changing soon, but there's some good snippets on there of good trainers and how to build a business. Other podcasts I can think of. Ben Coomber has a good podcast. I think it was top rated in the UK. Some really helpful stuff. Yeah, that's it really. In terms of like top kind of things I would say listen to, but listen to stuff you're interested in. Like just have 2 or 3 podcasts on the go a week and listen to people you respect, and you'll pick up stuff subconsciously just listening to it.
Okay. Nice one, Ad. Really appreciate that, mate. Appreciate you taking the time for coming on the first VT series video. It's been great, mate. So appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'll catch you soon.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.